All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back again. My name is Mark Antini Dark 66. For those of you who do not know me, I am a professional Instagram model, and you can see my professional work on there. My stage name again is Mark. That's Marq Antini, Antini, Dark 66 with two R's. I have a very, very broad stage name, but those of you who don't know me, I'm a professional model on Instagram, and I share my professional jobs and portfolio jobs with my audience to teach you how to take better photographs of yourself, whether you're doing this as a hobby, whether you want to look nice for your girlfriend, for your boyfriend, etc. This applies to anybody whenever you're taking pictures out there in the real world. So, alright, let's get right into this. Looks like I gotta put my robe in the wash soon. A little more about myself, my personality here on YouTube. If you're a creator, you are a kind of like a heightened version of yourself. So, like an over exaggerated version of yourself. That goes for all performers, really. But one thing about me is when I looked at my personality, since I was a kid, I was a little more on the introverted side, a little on the shy side. That'll come in future movies. I'll talk about my childhood more so you can kind of see how I am as a person. But when it comes to personality, I have a gothic personality. I don't really consider myself gothic against like real gothic people. Everything in today's culture is really categorized and like grouped. I think as a country, without talking about politics, I think we're the most divided we've ever been. Right? So everyone is something. Like, you're a part of this group. You're a part of these, these are your family members, friends, etc. So, without getting into my childhood, like, I've always been into gothic culture, but not really represented myself that way, because in terms of being gothic, I'm the type of guy where I like to wear sunglasses a lot. I like to either be wearing sunglasses, being in a dark room. I like being in the dark physically. So yeah, I guess that makes me gothic. I mean, I don't know. I've never met anyone who likes like bright lights in their faces. But especially me. I mean, I could really on a Sunday afternoon into a Sunday night, I could stand in my backyard for like 6 hours in the dark and just love it. I just love it. So I decided to let you guys know that I'm part gothic. I wouldn't say I'm 100% gothic, but there's definitely a part of me that's gothic, and I'll get into more of that in the movies to come, so stay tuned. Alright, let's get into this modeling stuff. Okay, so the first thing is, okay, I was talking about man bags in the previous movies, and I gave an example of what like a man bag is basically. And what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna give you. I'm not gonna delete the video. Okay, because I gave an example of what a good bag would be for like a heterosexual male who is upgrading their style, who doesn't want to send the wrong messages about his sexuality to his friends or to his family, to get a bag that is respectable, masculine, manly, and says, like, here I am, sort of a thing. So, with building upon that, and in this series, we're in like the second season of this modeling series, you know, repetition is good. And I'm going to give an example of me repeating myself, but I'm going to give you a different example of me repeating myself on something I said in the past. This is a bag that I'm holding right now. I'm going to show you guys. Would be perfect for like a first time bag for a man. Like, you're going to get a bag, you're going to start wearing a bag. You know, you want to like display this to like family members, etc. This guy right here. Oh yeah, baby. This is one of my favorite bags. And really depends what I'm wearing. This is like sweet, baby. Look, there's so many great things about this bag. Okay. We're going to start with the crocodile on the front. That's real right there. Oh yes. Crocodile or alligator skin. Honestly, I don't remember. I pronounce it fox. I mean this is obviously fox leather on this side, but that, when you feel that, oh yeah, that's real, baby. Anyways, one thing about like performing or modeling or you know like wearing clothes, this, that, and the other thing, like when you're doing something for the first time, you don't really want to come on too strong. There's a lot of different reasons for that. But I'm going to segue and I'm going to come back to this bag. But like, I remember when I got my first lip ring, I'm saying to myself, okay, I'm going to wear a lip ring. I'm going to get a small one to see how people react to it. If they think it's totally weird, I'm going to see. First, I was going to see how Dark South reacted to it. Like, photographers at Dark South at the time, I'm like, what do you guys think of this? One photographer was like, yeah, get a nose ring too. So here you go, I'm wearing a nose ring. But that was the first thing. And then, after that, like my friends said they liked it. Um, my mom absolutely hates it. My dad thinks it's okay. My other dad really doesn't like it. I have two dads, by the way. I have a dad and a stepdad. Shout to my dads and my mom. But yeah, you want to start with something that's not so strong and like in your face and like, oh, here we go. This is great to start because it's like intermediate. This is not like a top of the line expensive designer bag that you spent hours thinking about, like, oh, well, I'm gonna drop a band on a man bag, you know what I mean? And then like you realize that it's like it doesn't fit your body because you're like too big, or it's too small, or you know what I mean? Like you gotta like try this stuff out before you like commit to it. It's like anything else. It's kind of I was talking to one of my dads, and he was like, modeling's kind of like a sport. I'm like, well, yeah, of course it is. Yeah, I mean, like, I bring a competitive nature to it, and I totally, wow, another part of my personality without All right, you know what? We're not even gonna get into that. I gotta stay on track. I don't want to get sidetracked. Okay, so you get this with the bag. This is a great, great starter bag. I'm not even kidding. Like, I still have this bag. I would still rock it. It's just like my style's kind of going in the other direction right now. I'm not really into like outdoorsy kind of bags, like, crocodile, alligator skin, but yo, that bag is hot. Rock it. Get something like it. Okay, so check that off the list. Good starter bag. Okay, so let's segue into the next most important topic here. Let's see, what did I label second? Okay, so as I said in the opening, I'm an Instagram model. I'm getting compensated to model for companies on Instagram. There's a huge, huge difference between what I'm doing on Instagram and what the runway models are doing around the world. Okay, the runway models around the world, and I'm going to say this before I say what the differences are. Your regiment for that has to be extremely disciplined. Like, I'm eating this amount of calories per day. I'm going to the gym this many times per week. Like, if you guys haven't noticed now, my extravagant stage name and, you know, my super in depth internet persona insinuates that I have a day job and I'm looking for privacy, right? So, how far are you going to take it? And don't get me wrong, hey, look, you know, I love my contracts that I'm getting on Instagram right now. I'm super super comfortable doing this. Okay, and I'm actually honestly in terms of being a pro model, like I'm really comfortable where I'm at right now. And you know, there's always room to grow. Like I lay my head down at night and I'm like, tomorrow I'm going to be an even better model. I'm going to be even better model. So on and so forth. But this is not to get confused with runway modeling. Okay, I'll even humble myself now, and I'm a humble guy. You gotta get to know me to see this side of me because I like to playfully tease others in a happy, fun, humorous way. Kind of like in a big brother way. But I will be the first one to tell you that when it comes to runway models, I ain't got nothing on them. You know, they're the real deal. You know what I mean? Not they're a step above Mark Antony Dark 66. And honestly, if the career ever takes me there, I'll still be humble. And it's not that I can't do it. It's just I'm at such a career pinnacle at this point in my life. I mean, and I'm not gonna I'm not getting into that. Okay, we are focusing on modeling, but look, the runway models, hey, you guys are like level 2. I'm like level 1. Like, you want to get your Instagram buzzing, you want to get some real jobs, you want to I'm not going to say it's going to be easy, okay, because these companies aren't just going to sign you for nothing, okay, and compensate you for nothing. It doesn't happen that way. It's hard work, okay? And man, I think one of the companies supposedly soon. I think I'm getting like a new laptop or something. Like I'm getting like compensated real nice. Like I'm real proud of that. Okay, like I work hard, man. Okay, Don't get it twisted. Like I'm in my studio, like, yo, let's get it. You know what I mean? Like I'm like going out to eat, like, yo, I gotta watch my weight here, like I gotta go to the gym, like, etc. etc. Runway models are the real deal. They're the ones that I don't want to say I don't want to make this about pay. Okay? I don't want to know what you get paid. You don't have to know what I get paid. Just as long as you know that I'm getting paid. But I hold them in a higher esteem of what I'm doing because I'm a humble guy. I'm more of a performer, you know. I haven't flown to Italy in the past year and done, a runway show for, your favorite designer. Let's just keep it that way. I'm still doing my thing. I'm a humble dude. There's better models out there than me. Let's just differentiate. Like if you were to go to like a modeling school or something, like learn how to walk on a runway, etc., etc., etc. Because the industry in and of itself, to be navigated on that level, you need somebody like an expert to, like, show you how to walk correctly, show you how to, diet correctly, all that stuff. It never ends. It never ends. And I'm happy at this level. This is like level one. We might My career might take me into runway modeling, but for now, we're just talking about in front of the camera, home studio, getting paid on Instagram, getting paid on YouTube, etc. Wherever this may take us, we will see. But for now, we're staying right there. I'm your homeboy, Mark Antony Dark 66. And that's the end of the movie. Good night. No, I'm just kidding. All right, so you get the point there. Okay, I am so excited for this movie. Let me tell you, I am like really just firing on all cylinders. It is like really exciting. Um, hmm. Okay, so I'm gonna end this segment on this. Um, as I just humbled myself in front of you all, at the same time, in remaining humble, because being humble is a good quality, knowing where you're at with like a sober mind, like, okay, I'm big but I'm not that big. I was also humble in one of my last movies when I said, like, I'm famous but I'm not Elon Musk famous. Okay, there's a difference. um, Learn how to take a compliment. Okay, for you to be able to navigate this the way that I'm navigating this, you have to take compliments in stride and know the difference between a compliment and a non compliment. Okay? So, we're not saying that someone is, bowing down and kissing your feet and saying you're the greatest model that they've ever seen on Instagram. Okay? We're not saying that. We are saying that, like, someone's like, oh, well, I was looking at your photos and you look like a superstar. Ooh, right? So, in other words, it's like they're saying you're a superstar, but they're not saying you're a superstar, but they're using the word superstar. Like, absorb what they're saying, look at that photo, see everything that you did according to what they're saying, and like, give them feedback based on how they complimented you. You know, in other words, like, don't be shocked that they complimented you, but in your mind, take it very seriously. I even said in one of the previous movies, like, I would play modeling games, like, with myself. I would be like, okay, who's the best dressed in this room? Are they better dressed than I am? Let me really think about this. Let me think, like, who looks better. You know what I mean? Like, stuff like that. You got to make this fun. Have fun with it. Play mind games with other people, with yourself, with a group of friends. You know what I mean? Make it into a social thing. You know, you're going out with your boys. All right, who's the best dressed here tonight? You're going out with your girls. Okay, who's the best dressed here tonight? Let's have a little competition. Winner buys. Winner gets a milkshake or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, have fun with it. But when you're having fun and someone compliments you in a nice, kind way, notice it and, like, hold on to it. And, this, that, and the other thing. Now, I'm not saying, like, if someone really isn't complimenting you, not to notice it either. Like, when my mom, oh man, like, when my mom's like, you know, take that stupid lip ring out. She's obviously not complimenting me, but, if someone even does it nonchalantly, absorb it for what it is, take it in confidence, and learn from it. What made, you know, you stand out to them in a positive way? Why are they admiring what you're liking, or what you're wearing? This stuff matters so, so much, because what you're doing is you're bringing life to what you're wearing, and that's exactly what your goal is to be like, hey, like, especially when somebody knows you on a personal level and it's biased, because, like, they'll be like, oh, like they're always looking at you biasly because they know you for so long, especially if it's like a family friend or somebody in your family. Like, okay, like, what do you think? I walk into Dark South every day, and my photographer's like, oh, hey, I like your outfit. There's been a couple times where my photographer was like, I really don't know what you're wearing. It happens. But I'm saying, like, as serious and as serious and nonchalant as it may seem, take it extremely seriously. Take it in stride. In movies to come, I'm gonna stress and overemphasis on what I wear, because since I've been a toddler, part of my manhood has been to wear the right thing, at least reporting to, like, my dad's and my mom. We'll get into my family dynamics at a later time. That'll be very entertaining when I explain to you, like, how I became Mark Antony Dark 66, family dynamics and whatnot. But this stuff is so serious. If you walk into a family party, I don't care if you're at the grocery store, somebody says, hey, I like your outfit, like, take a picture of that outfit, write a note on it, take a mental note, store that away, be like, okay, they like this outfit because why, and try to figure it out. My name is Mark Antony Dark 66. I'm a professional Instagram model. We're here to party. We're here to have a good time. We're here to laugh. We're here to learn. I am the gothic version of Mr. Rogers. Just kidding. See you in the next segment. Peace. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back again. I am Mark Antony Dark 66, and we are here in the next installment of the modeling movie. I am a professional model on Instagram. You can see my portfolio on there. Mark Antony Dark 66. Alright, let's get into the next part of this. So, I thought really, like, long and hard about this. And I kind of, like, study. One of the purposes of this channel, before I get into this, is, like, there is a psychology to modeling, okay? And there's even a psychology to social media. Like, if you are a content creator, this, that, and the other thing. There's two key points that I gotta start before I get into the meat and potatoes of this. Psychological. The first thing you got to understand as a model, there's two key points. The first key point is human nature, meaning that, you know, regardless of someone's background, their ethnicity, what they've been through, who they are, most likely at the end of the day, you're a human being and we are all connected in some way, shape, or form. Okay, we're all human beings, regardless of your gender, your race, where you're from, where you've lived, etc. That's the first thing. The second thing is self awareness. Okay, self awareness is so key for models. And even if you're taking pictures at an amateur level, like you have to start understanding how you look and appear to other people and be able to judge yourself. Not based on your human nature or where you're from. Just I don't know anything about this person and I'm looking at them and they're modeling for me and these are my thoughts. Like you have to come in contact with that psychology to be able to judge yourself correctly in the modeling world, if that makes sense. A lot of this is, it's just so one of the reasons why I had to get involved and I had to come back into modeling was one obviously for the revenue because modeling pays me better than music was paying me. Um, well, really, actually, that's actually not true. Music was offering to pay me more, but the the work lifestyle of being in a band it just wasn't worth it financially. So that's the truth. But anyways, we'll get back to that another day. Sorry, I have something in my eye. Um, the way people perceive you, self awareness, how you think you look versus how you actually look. There's a lot of people who are not in touch with that. And I think as like a YouTube creator or a model or however you want to put it, you actually it's that's actually therapeutic. It's actually therapeutic in a way. Um, I just want to get this off my chest. One of my favorite, you know, college elective classes was psychology. Still to this day, it really, really was, and will always be like one of my favorite electives. That and history. If you ever have a chance to take a college level psychology and or history class, I really, really recommend it. Not to go off topic. Um, get in contact with that. Get to know that and learn that and apply that to your life, to your image. Even that could even help you like at your day job. Not everything you see on this channel is 110% modeling all the time. There's a lot of like life lessons that I put into these movies. And that's why I call them movies because for the first time in the history of the world, like we're all connected because of this technology. So sometimes you'll see me like sharing life lessons or like, I mean, I'm an uncle, I have like nephews and nieces and such. And yeah, so, you know, I always try to give more I always try to give more than what you bargain for when you watch my movies. It's always even though I'm just sitting here like southern style like, oh, all right, well, let's get on with it. I try to put as much I try to put like my heart and soul into it and really like you really like get your time's worth and anytime I'm getting paid for something I always give it 1,000%. So it's called taking pride in what you do. So anyways, okay, so get that out of the way. Get in touch with human nature and self-awareness. Okay, that'll help you grow a lot as a model, like a lot. I wish if I wanted to be successful at this with my first portfolio, I probably would have been like famous by now. Not that that's like my total goal, because I'm even, just so you know, behind the scenes, I got Dark South looking at this other contract that was just sent to me from a national modeling company. But again, it has to fit in with, my career trajectory at this point. And like I said before, I have a day job. Okay? I have a few day jobs. Anyway, we're going a little off topic. Understand that psychology, apply it to modeling. You'll be great. Everyone will love you. You'll understand like how you look, how you come off, what you sound like. It's a great thing. All right, so now let's the next topic. Yeah. In movies past, like when you see my appearance here, like okay, it's like my face on the camera, okay? This is true. I just want to clear the air on this. Um, if you look at my past movies, it'll probably happen again. I purposely do not wash my face before I record, so you could see my flaws. I actually definitely do that 100% on purpose. So you could see my wrinkles, you could see my acne, you could see, you know, I get like eczema here around my eyebrows. That's another reason, apologetically, that my eyebrows are not the best looking, but I have like dry skin here around my eyebrows. I totally do that on purpose. If you go back and look at my movies, you could see dry skin on my face. You could see all these ugly things that you know, you think models, they wake up looking perfect. It's totally not the case, and I'm actually happy that I look at my flaws and I market myself for those flaws. Um, I'm gonna throw this word out there. I was even looking at the ad for like personal at home Botox. Oh, right. It's pretty crazy, but in terms of that stuff, my own personal regimens and being sponsored, I'm totally in the market for like wrinkle repair, acne, eczema, dry skin, all this stuff. But yeah, I just totally want to clear that up. Is like I'm not trying to like gross anybody out. I'm just trying to like show you that I'm a human being, and like yeah, I have acne. Yeah, I have ailments just like everybody else does. Really, and really, honestly, my acne's just been clearing up. 2 years ago, worst acne breakouts of my life. I thought I was like 14 years old again. It was just really intense and really crazy. But and yeah, it's gross, but there's total reason for that. So, it's like you see acne videos anywhere these days. Pretty gross, but you get the point. Okay, okay, so now let's apply um let's close this segment out with this one. Watches. Okay, watch etiquette for men and women. Okay, there's a misconception, and as a model, like I see this a lot. I see this a lot, a lot, a lot, a lot, a lot, and it's it needs to be talked about. First of all, this is not about my wardrobe. This is about making you a professional model and taking better photos and helping me take better photos because I learn a lot of things in the process. But when it comes to watches, I want you to understand this. When you're purchasing a watch and you're wearing it for business purposes, now I'm a business owner, okay, so I know this. and this has a little bit to do with this. This totally connects to self awareness. Okay, the next time you buy a watch, you are not buying a watch because it's shiny, because it looks cool. Okay, you are buying a watch to fit into a culture where there's money being shared and you're a part of that. Let me say that again. When you're wearing a watch as a business man or woman, person, you are saying, I'm in this culture, I'm ready to receive money, I'm ready to spend money, I'm ready to be an entrepreneur, I'm ready to go all in. You're making a statement. You're not, when you're buying a watch, you are not saying, wow, this is really cool looking, I want to wear this. Wow, this is my shiny new toy. Wow, my wife's really going to like this. Wow, my husband's really going to like this. Even though, like, oh, my girlfriend's really going to like this. Even though that's what you're thinking, okay, a watch is not made to appeal romantically. In a sense, yes, okay, you go on a date, you're wearing your watch. I get it. That's not the sole purpose of wearing a watch, okay? And I know this. You know why I know this? You know why I know this? I know this because, first of all, I'm not going to get into, I can't tell you everything about my life. Okay, let's just say I'm a businessman. Okay, Mark the businessman. Let's just say I went to business school. Okay, keeping it private. And etiquette is learned on, like, levels of social status. Like, you have to really bump your nose in this culture a little bit to learn this kind of stuff, because it's really like, whoo, man, I'm just telling you this. Like, if I walk into I'll give it to you this the straightaway way. If I walk into a business meeting and there's somebody sitting there wearing a diamond watch, and your name is not like Jay-Z or Kanye West, like, I'm walking out the door. Okay, because that to me is not appealing to me, because, like, you don't know how to dress, or you don't know how to, like, sell yourself. Now, the point that I'm trying to make with that is, like, you, let me put it on me, right? Put it on me. Okay, let's say that I'm overdressing. Let's say that there's a pool party. Okay, I love going to the pool. Pools are fun. I love pools. Okay, I'm wearing a Rolex to the pool party. Okay, but when I get to the pool, I take my Rolex off. I'm jumping in the water. I'm doing all this kind of stuff. Like, I've seen guys do that where you're wearing your Rolex to a pool party. Like, I get it, but it's not really like, are you really, like, closing a deal today? Are you really doing this? Look, you don't even have to take my opinion. Okay, that's how certain I am on this. You can totally say, Mark, look, man, I'm wearing my Rolex to the pool. I'm gonna do what I want to do. It's gonna get oxidized or whatever because I'm gonna jump in the pool with it on. Okay, that's fine. Okay, it's a free country. Do what you want to do. Self awareness. Okay, why am I wearing a Rolex to a pool? Like, what is the concept? What is the purpose? Start asking yourself that. Maybe I'm a little overdressed. You know, um, you know, for women too, okay, you're going to a baby shower. Why are you wearing a Rolex? It sends, you want to connect with people, okay? And I've been doing this for a very long, even before I became a model. One of my favorite, I'm gonna end this segment on this. One of my favorite life lessons was taught to me from my dad when I was about 15 years old. I remember I had this outfit planned out for Christmas. My dad told me I looked stupid, and to this day, I remember how he said it, and yeah, okay, he was being a little mean, but like it was good discipline because it taught me, like, you know, what message are you sending to them if you're wearing that? And you always, always, always have to be considerate of that. And yes, like I said, my words are not golden. Okay, I am not God. Okay, but think about that. I'm going to a pool party. I'm wearing my Rolex. What is the point? Okay, what are you gonna like see your aunt and strike up some sort of a deal right there, by the kiddie pool? If that's your thing, go for it. Okay, if that's really what your business is all about, go for it. Maybe you could teach me something in the process. Okay, but from what I do, from, a pro model's point of view, I would say that's being a little overdressed diplomatically. Okay, I'm not going to judge you for it. If I saw you wearing a Rolex at a pool, I'm not going to judge you for it. There's a point in that. Just like you have to think like that. This is how you think. Okay, this is how you get people to notice what you're wearing. And no, I'm not I'm not AI. I'm not 100% accurate all the time. I'm just using this as a extreme example, having an extreme fashion sense when it, starting with fashion and then you get in front of the camera, so you don't look, you know, stupid. My name is Mark Antony Dark 66. I love helping you guys out. Take what you can, apply it to your life, fashion, modeling, fashion, etc. See you in the next movie. Peace.